Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Professor Ajay Kumar Pujari and today we'll be continuing with the session number 3 of unit number 1. So in our today's session, we will understand about the banking system of India in detail. So the banking system of India, at the apex we have the RBI, that is our Reserve Bank of India. It is our central bank. So Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of the country which was established in April 1935 with a share capital of rupees 5 crores. In 1935, RBI was given broad powers and since then RBI is issuing and controlling the currency. RBI was established with the provisions of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Since nationalization in 1949, the RBI is fully owned by the Government of India. The central office of the RBI has been in Mumbai since inception. The governor sits and formulates policies there. Now it has 22 regional offices and most of them are in state capitals. The RBI Act 1934 was commenced on April 1st, 1935. The Act provides statutory basis of the functioning of the bank. The bank was constituted for the following needs: to regulate the issue of banknotes, to maintain reserves with a view to securing monetary stability, to operate the credit and currency system of the country to its advantage. So under RBI, we have commercial banks, regional rural banks and cooperative banks. Let us start with the commercial banks. Commercial banks are an important part of the Indian financial system. They offer a full range of services for individuals, business and the government. They mobilize savings of general public and make them available to large and small industrial and trading units, mainly for working capital requirements. Commercial banks in India are largely working in public sector as well as private sector with some foreign banks. The public sector banks account for more than 90% of the entire banking business in India, occupying a dominant position in the commercial banking. Under commercial banks, we have public sector banks and private sector banks. Let us discuss about the public sector banks. They can be classified into two ways: nationalized banks and SBI. Now recently there was a merger, so let us discuss about the mergers in the public sector banks. The consolidation of SBI associated banks started first by State Bank of India merging its subsidiary State Bank of Saurashtra with itself on 13 August 2008. Thereafter it merged State Bank of Indore with itself on August 27, 2010. The remaining subsidiaries, namely the State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur, State Bank of Hyderabad, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Patiala, and State Bank of Travancore, and Bharatiya Mahila Bank, were all merged with State Bank of India with effect from 1st April 2017. Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank were merged into Bank of Baroda in 2018. IDBI was categorized as a private bank with effect from January 2019. On 30th August 2019, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the government's plan for further consolidation of public sector banks. Indian Bank's merger with Allahabad Bank. Anchor Bank is Indian Bank. Punjab National Bank's merger with Oriental Bank of Commerce and United Bank. The anchor bank is Punjab National Bank. Union Bank of India's merger with Andhra Bank and Corporation Bank. The anchor bank Union Bank of India. And Canara Bank's merger with Syndicate Bank. The anchor bank is Canara Bank. All these mergers took effect from 1st April 2020. Now we will see a list of public sector banks. Now these public sector banks are as of 1st April 2020. In the bracket you can see the government shareholding percentage. Next we will discuss about the private sector banks. The private sector banks in India are further classified into Indian banks and foreign banks. The Indian banks are classified into old private banks and new private banks. So these are the list of Indian banks which are divided into old private banks on the left hand side and new private banks on the right hand side. Next we have the foreign banks. Now these are the list of foreign banks which are operating in India. Next we will discuss about the regional rural banks, that is RRBs. Rural banking is a form of service that provides solutions to the financial needs of the customers. Rural banking is a form of service that provides solutions to the financial needs of the consumers in rural areas. Rural banking had started since the establishment of banking sector in India. Rural banks are mainly focused on agro sector. Regional rural banks, also RRBs, are local level banking organizations primarily created with a view to serve the rural areas of India with basic banking financial services. However, RRBs may have branches set up for urban operations, and their area of operation may include urban areas too. Regional rural banks were established under the provisions of an ordinance passed on September 1975 and the RRB Act 1976 to provide sufficient banking and credit facility for agricultural and other rural sectors. In India, there are 14,475 rural banks in the country, of which 2,126 are located in remote rural areas. Next we have cooperative banks. Cooperative banks are established under the Cooperative Societies Act applicable in various states. Cooperative banks can be classified as central cooperative banks and state cooperative banks when the RBI Act 1934 was passed. There was a provision for inclusion of the names of commercial banks only in the second schedule to the out. But subsequently in 1965, Section 42 extended such provision for cooperative banks. Therefore, cooperative banks are also scheduled banks. Though much smaller as compared to scheduled commercial banks, cooperative banks constitute an important segment of the Indian banking system and have traditionally played an important role in creating banking habits among the lower and middle income groups and in strengthening the rural credit system. So in our today's session, we have understood about the banking system in India in detail. Thank you very much.